Hello, this is Rhett, and I'm going to be talking to you about Medtronic MiniMed Diabetes today for my social media presentation. So, when I first talked about my group, who I was going to be presenting on, I was trying to decide on who I wanted to speak about, and I thought about talking about the presidential elections, and I was thinking about how I wanted to talk about Donald Trump. And I was like, well, do I talk about the hair? Well, ironically enough, I didn't want to talk about the hair. And I thought, well, maybe I talk about the beauty pageants. Well, I didn't want to talk about beauty pageants either because I thought, well, I don't want to have to deal with the competitions. Well, I got thinking about Miss Idaho 2014 and how she was an inspiration to me because of her insulin pump that you can see right here that she is wearing. Miss Idaho, who's Sierra Sadison, prior to her competing in events, she would always just wear her, she would actually just wear her, use her insulin shots. She would never use her insulin pump. And then prior to her competing for Miss Idaho, she decided to use her insulin pump, and that was actually going to be her standpoint for being Miss America, was going to be type 1 diabetes, and having that be her focal point for being Miss America had she won her 2014 stand year. So with that, I actually chose for my social media campaign MiniMed or Medtronic for my company and my campaign on what their standpoint is going to be and what they stand for and what their social media campaign is going to be for their focal point on helping to diabetics improve their health style and their life point and having a healthier lifestyle and a healthier viewpoint and becoming better. So what is Medtronic and what is MiniMed? They're one in the same company. What they do is they basically build insulin pumps that helps deliver insulin to diabetics, both type 1 and type 1, type 1 and type 2 diabetics, and delivers insulin to the diabetic on a daily basis. Basically, it replaces the pancreas that is no longer working to the diabetic on a daily basis here. Medtronic is actually based or has companies and headquarters in over 25 separate companies, or actually in over 25 different countries. They do work with most different insurance companies, help deliver products to different consumers. They also too have different ranges of products that they work with, such as like test strips, meters, the actual insulin pumps directly. They also have different products such as like sensors, and they also have just different sorts of ranges of products to help diabetics improve, so that way the diabetic can be successful and make sure that they reach their goals on being a healthier person and reaching their goals, just helping to get to a healthier lifestyle and help be active in life in general. Now with the Medtronic MiniMed company, what they are looking for and what they really want to do with their social media campaign is several different things. They really want to help see who can help benefit from their insulin pumps. They want to help see who can make different advances or show what advancements have been made on the insulin pumps. And then, of course, they also too want to just show their different social media presences that they've been having been made, that they have here with the presence that we see, because we know that social media is a big thing nowadays, especially with the different outlets that we have like YouTube and Facebook. Now, as far as who benefits from Medtronic, actually, of course, it's the diabetics who benefit from Medtronic, and it's the family members of the diabetics who benefit from Medtronics, or family members of the diabetics who benefit from Medtronics. Those who are diabetic or who are family members of diabetics know that when you have a family member or who is a diabetic, know that when you have to take insulin shots, either 2 or 3 or even up to 6 or more times a day, you know that is very time consuming, plus having to test yourself multiple times a day, you know that's all too time consuming. With having an insulin pump, you have to, that helps ease some of the time, or ease some of the benefits of having to make sure you don't have to worry about taking time away from family members. You just can type in some numbers into your pump and be able to go in and just punch those numbers in, and then just continue on with your daily time frames as well. Also, with the benefit with having the pump from the MiniMed. This was the very first pump that Medtronic actually put out. This was back in 1983. So this is kind of your old school MiniMed pump. So this is back in the olden days. This is when it was very first put out, kind of when we were still first learning about how everything was still being thought about with diabetes and how things are being affected, especially with how often you have to test, compared to now, which is the most important thing. And this is what actually what MiniMed is now advertising on their Facebook page, which is what we're going to be talking about here shortly, which is the 530G pump. What this pump is this pump is their newest one, and this pump, what it does is it coordinates with the sensor, which is right here. And what the sensor does is the sensor goes into the body as well, and it actually communicates with the pump. What you can see right here is the pump coordinates with the sensor, and it simultaneously communicates and tells the pump how low or how high the diabetic's blood sugar ratings are. So that way the pump can either give the diabetic more insulin or give the diabetic less insulin. The diabetic, of course, will still need to test their blood sugar to help calibrate the insulin pump, because we want to make sure that the diabetic is still, that the pump is still working correctly. But this is a great adjustment, and this is something that MiniMed is actually pushing a lot of now, and this is their big social media campaign, and the one thing that they have been pushing on their Facebook page on what they've been communicating. This is what they've actually been targeting towards their main audience. The audience, of course, being the diabetics. Now, with the social media presence they have been going on, when I was first looking into their different social media presence outlooks, they have their main website, which of course you can go on to, which is their Medtronic minimed.com website, which is where you can order the supplies. You can speak with a Medtronic agent where they can answer your questions. But their big main thing is actually going to their Facebook page. They actually have social media agents who actually speak with people and answer their questions about the people who have questions about Medtronic, and answer the questions that people might have on it. and they help people and get everything taken care of, whether it's technical questions, whether it's questions about the bills. They also too help answer concerns about making sure people can get upgrades to the 530G pump, which is what they're broadcasting. Another good thing about the social media presence that they have about the Facebook page is that with the holidays that are going on with like Hanukkah and Thanksgiving and with Christmas and everything going on right now with everything going on, they also too are very aware that because of all the carbs and the the extra food that people like to eat nowadays, that this is going to affect the carbs that diabetics are going to eat. They want to make sure that the diabetics are going to make sure they're going to get the extra insulin that they're going to need. So they like to give helpful tips and tricks to us diabetics as well. So they always give us daily reminders as well, saying, here's how you can most effectively use your new 530G 530G pump, and making sure you're using your Bowls Wizard correctly as well. So that's one good thing about using the presence of the social media and having this work correctly for you. So that's one thing that I would always say is good about their good thing. Now with the with my evaluation as far as with the communication on the social media side of my evaluation of the social media concern with the